So hello friends, welcome back, and in this video we are going to see code for round 672 problem C1. In the next video we will see problem C2 and then we will see problem D, but for now problem C1. So it is an easy version of C2. In this we are allowed that we need to do with no swaps. Okay, I will see the problem statement. So it says that we have an array of size n, and what we can do is we need to choose a subsequence of length k. Length k we can choose of anything, so we can choose subsequence of any length, I should say, and such that we need to choose such that the alternate, like we need to place the alternate signs, which means plus minus, and the sum of that subsequence should be maximum. So if I should say in our easy language, so I should say that I will choose a subsequence such that I will have maximum, minimum, maximum, minimum, maximum, minimum element, such that the sum would be maximum, minimum, maximum, minimum, maximum, minimum would be maximum, right? Now the first thing that strikes my mind is that okay, what I should do is that I will choose a maximum element, then I will choose a minimum element, then after that the maximum, then the minimum. So I will start with maximum one, right? Okay, if I visualize the example this which is given here, that okay, I have this array right here. So you are seeing that okay, I'm having the last case, which is the most best case. So I have 1 2 5 4 3 6 4 7. So my aim is that I need to choose the maximum one. After that I'll choose the minimum one, right? Then after that I'll choose the maximum, after that I'll choose the minimum. But now how I can do that? I will do that okay, whensoever I have the option, I will always go up till the maximum. See, whensoever I have the option, I will go up till the maximum one. Whensoever I have the option, I will go up to the minimum one. And now, and why I'm going up till the maximum and why I'm going up till the minimum? It is the reason because I need, like, see, the maximum it is, the minimum it is, right? So it will have, like, it will add my answer, right? So it will add up in a more answer, which means the maximum answer I will get. Now the example you will get more clear that okay, if I have my 1 2 5 4 3 6 7, so I want my maximum right here and I want my minimum. But as you can see that my 1 is small and my 2 is big, it is not maximum, it is not minimum. So I need to shift my minimum so as that I should be like the element right here, it should be less than this. So I need to shift my minimum. See, because I need to take a subsequence, so I need to shift in an order, which means that I cannot shift like this. So I need to shift in order. So I will shift my minimum. But as soon as I shift my minimum, I will realize that okay, I need to have the element maximum, right? And it was actually smaller. So it is for sure that I need to shift my maximum as well. Because see, my maximum was smaller and the minimum, earlier minimum was more. So at least to maximum, it should be maximum. So at least it should be arrived at that location so as it can become maximum. So my one, like which my maximum, I had my this maximum. So it should arrive at 2 so that at least I can say okay, for now it can become maximum. So my maximum minimum are 2 pointers. So I am basically playing with 2 pointers to obtain to my answer, right? Although like in the next I will also show you the heap and valley approach for this, but for now the first thing that strikes a person's mind is okay, how you are moving in this, right? Although if you have studied the heap and valley approach, so it should strike your mind, which I will show you in the next video. But for now let's understand the okay, basic intuition, okay, how I reach to that point. Very fine. Then I will have my maximum, I will have my minimum right here. These are the pointers basically, right? Which means that okay, I have my 2 variables which are moving like this, I and j, you can say. Then I can also see that okay, my maximum is small, minimum is more. How it is possible, man? Okay, I need to shift my minimum again. I'll shift my minimum again. But as soon as I shift, I know that okay, earlier it was maximum is small, so I should also shift my maximum, right? So whensoever my minimum is moving, I'm also seeing that my maximum is also moving, right? So keep the point as said that as my minimum is moving, my maximum is also moving because it is arriving at a better location. So maximum will also move, so it will arrive at 5. Very fine. Now my max is right here, min is right here. Now you can see okay, fine, Aryan, I reached the state you said that okay, I have maximum, I have minimum, but should I stop? I will say no. See, what you wanted is you should go until you obtain the minimum, which means that you have the maximum. Okay, now you have the minimum, but it might happen that you might be able to achieve more minimum. Now why I'm saying to obtain more minimum? See, if I have the minimum, suppose it is 5, it is 4. So next I would add something, which means I need to have, if it is 3, so I will have 3. Then I will waste this 3, which means that if I skip, if I have my answer right here, then next iteration, what I will do, I will start my max from here and min from here. Then I will see that okay, it is like this. So I will move my min right here and max right here. So as you can see, my 3 got wasted here. My 3 was not utilized here, which means the energy, which means the locality, which means the minima feature of 3 was wasted. So I should try that if I can go deep. So I should go deep. It is the basic feature of valley approach. But in the next video, I will show the valley approach. But for now, let's see that 2-pointer approach. So yeah, what I will do is that if by anyhow I have reached to a state that okay, maximum minimum is refined, so I will try to move my minimum to more minimum, which is that if it is minimum, so I will move it to the more minimum, which is right here, right? Now if it try to go more minimum, so it will not go because next element is bigger. So it is the minima which I can obtain. I am at the maxima, I am at the minima. I am pretty sure that if I do its subtraction, so I will get a sum which will be maximum possible. And like these kind of sums I can add in my answer to obtain the maximum final answer. So I had this 5 and I have this 3 at maximum minimum locations. I know that they are the maximum minimum locations. So I will add in my answer 5 minus 3, which means the difference, because what I needed my subsequence and with alternate sign starting with positive. Now very fine. Now my maximum minimum location will be changed to next, which means after this I will have my new maximum minimum, right? I will repeat the same procedure until I go out of my array, which means that okay, I can see that okay, my max is less, minimum is more. I need to move, and as I said that when my min move, my max also move. So my max and min move. Now as you can see that my max is at the final location and my min is out of the array. I can simply say that okay, I have that maximum minimum, my maximum, and the minimum is out, so I can let that minimum is 0, like least minima, right? So what it will do, that it will do 7, and that you can say that last is 0, right? Because what you can do plus minus plus, and if you don't want to do minus, so you can do minus 0. Very fine, it's pretty cool. So yeah, you can at last add 7 minus 0 to your answer, which will finally become 9. So understand the basic intuition that okay, I had my minimum, I had my maximum minimum. When my minimum was moving, because it need to move, because it is actually low, it is actually high, it need to move, and if it moves, so I can clearly see that okay, I can jump to a location which is actually more, because the earlier maximum was less. Now the new maximum is, it can be more. So I will jump, and then I will still compare. So if I do this jumping, I will reach to a location which is ultimate maxima, and after that ultimate maxima, I will try to go to the ultimate minima so as to obtain my maximum answer. So yeah, it's the basic approach. Let's quickly see the code. Although I'm pretty saying that it can be a one-line code as well, because you can simply add the values, which means that okay, you can add that values. You it's the basic intuition. Okay, how you think of those values, or how you find the answer for those values. But yeah, let's see for now. So here I had my inputs n and q, although q is 0 in this case, but then I input my array. Then I had my max I, min I. Max I is the index, like you can say for now it is 1. As I said that my array is indexing from 1, so I started from 1, I have then 2. Then what I did was that I run my loop until, as I said, that I reached to the last location, which means my max I reached to n. Until then I am running my loop. In the loop right here, I am shifting my min max, which means my min I and max I both. If my max I, a of max I is less and a of min I is more, so I will shift both of them. As I said that why I shift both of them. Then now here what I did that okay, after the loop right here, I would have my max I at maximum. Now I need to reduce my min I up till the minimum. So here I am reducing my min I up till the minimum I can go. Now if I check that, okay, my max I should not move out of my array, and my condition also follows that my my A of min I should be less than my A of max I, so I will add it. If it is not, then I will break out of my loop. And when I add it, I should clearly mention that I move my I should see show you the code. So when I added it, so now I moved my max and min right here, my max right here and my min right here, which means my max is min plus 1 and my min is min plus 2. So yeah, the same thing I did here right here, right? Although I wrote it like max, like min is max plus 1 because your min max has already increased by 1. So yeah, else I will break and finally I will print my answer. So yeah, it's all for this video. Like, it was a basic background approach of heap and like the valley approach, but I can clearly say that in one line I can write its answer by like starting from the indexing. Like, I will add and subtract the last two elements, which means that I will add the consecutive elements, the difference of consecutive elements, and I will find my answer. So yeah, in the next video I will show you the code like that, and in the problem D we will have that as well. So yeah, let's wrap up for now and see you guys in the next video. Bye.